Hi, I'm Larry Dignan from Constellation Insights, and we're here with Ronak Desai. He's CEO of Cyros. It's a company that just launched. Hi, Ronak. How you doing?
Thank you very much, Larry. Very nice meeting you. First time here on Constellation Insight TV.
So congrats on the launch. I guess let's just start at high level. What's the vision of the company and kind of how you got started?
Thank you very much. So it's an exciting day. We company, as you pronounce, it's called Cyros.ai. We're building AI SRE Teammate, really to help our operations teams, which are DevOps, sometimes referred as DevOps or SRE or general ops teams. If you think about modern IT infrastructure, and when you have to investigate outages on those, there are hundreds of experts which needs to get involved, lots of tools and dashboards. It takes on an average 2 hours to resolve. Cyros wants to end all of that to really give the time back and potentially a sleep to our ops teams. Agentic AI is new, and to really our goal is to reduce the investigation time. Sometimes it takes days to hours and hours to minute. Only Cyros understands this aspect of multi-domain and the vast amount of data which is out there to correlate as a model of experts, building those agents across each of those expertise to really give you that precise information to our ops teams so that they can take the action. It has a human-like reasoning. So that's basically what Cyros.ai is on a mission to accomplish.
And you'll have a product launch in the future, but when did it hit you that this is a big problem? And like every great company starts off with a problem to solve first. When did it hit you this is a huge problem?
So this is a true story, Larry. When I ran observability at Cisco and prior to that data center group, this was a common problem I would hear from our enterprise customers saying, we have lots of tools, and in some cases they had 100 plus observability tools. And this is not even counting the security tools they have it in the enterprise. And there is a siloed way of looking that tool and the dashboard, right? So there's no correlated insights. And now, if you think about it, what is happening with AI coding tools? Like developer productivity is going through the roof. The environment is quite complex to begin with. There are tons of observability tools. And what we also saw, the ratio between the developers and the SRE was around 12 to 15 to 1, right? They could barely take care of the alerts which are coming their way. Now think about more productivity, more features, more apps coming to them. We really needed to give them similar capability. And this is what we are delivering from AI SRE Teammate. I saw the movement around reasoning models, and then technology was perfect to really solve that cross-domain correlation problem, building like the way human would reasons, right? And I jokingly say, gone are the days for static runbooks. You really need to have this dynamic behavior pattern, which is a patent pending technology which we built it. So that was when the light bulb went, ability to sort of solve that problem and the technology being there. And that was a perfect combination for us to get started.
So is it a case of needing a site reliability engineer teammate, or is it a case of you almost need like goggles to sort of manage the sprawl? I mean, because we've had microservices that already got kind of unwieldy, and then you get containers, and then you just get, there's so many things. And then you have all the logs, like it kind of never ends. So I guess, why do we need the teammate? Or is that even the right term? Is it more like, night vision goggles or something? I guess, it's about managing sprawl though, primarily, right?
Yeah, so the way the SRE teams today work, right? They use all those observability tools, right? So our goal, first, let me just put it out, right? We do not compete with any of the observability tools. We really competing with manual labor and the toil SREs have, right? Really looking at this hundreds of dashboards and trying to figure it out and creating a cognitive load for humans. So we're really going after that problem, still keeping human in the loop, because at the end of the day, look, you have all the dashboards in the world at your fingertips. Its ability to correlate those insights, and it's humanly not possible, or it takes a long time. And so that's why I think of this as, can I give you a 100x expert for each of those domains who can sit next to you, give you all that insights when you get woken up at 2 in the morning before even you get on the call, and so that you can start to make those precise decisions, having all that information summarized to you, to really resolve that incident, right? And SREs, to me, like, and this is where I see Teammate makes a perfect sense here. One is the investigation for the alerts which are coming in. Second one is SREs also spend a lot of time proactively investigating the issues. And so if you look at it, if I have an ability to sort of augment their functionality, it would be really powerful, right? So the way we sort of think about it is there's an aspect of automation, there's an aspect of augment the functionality where I can start to make and give them the capabilities for proactive investigations. And then there's an aspect of when alert fires and somebody has to get on the call, or tens of them has to get on the call, can we get all the information? Can we get the RCA, root cause analysis, figure it out, give them that information? And if they wish so, they can automate it where it can work as a full autopilot and implement the root cause analysis and remediation. So that's how we sort of think about it, the journey. And that's why I call it Teammate perfectly describes what we are trying to do here.
Would your company have been possible without LLMs and Gen AI and now agents?
Clearly, just using the LLM generation 1 LLM 2023 or 2024, it wouldn't have been possible. It's that reasoning capability which came about was a super critical breakthrough. The other important aspect, Larry, is ability to have that domain knowledge is very critical, right? So the example I love to give this is, just because you have 1 million medical books doesn't allow you to start to prescribe the medicine, right? So you need to have professionally trained ability to understand each of those domains, right? So ability to understand network, security, cloud, Kubernetes, internet, mobile, right? Understanding all of that aspects is super critical from a domain perspective. That's when you sort of take that reasoning model, build the experts, give them the right set of tools so that they can go investigate when the alert fires or investigate in a proactive way. So that's where the unlock happens from a technology perspective.
So what do the models and the reasoning engines, where do they get their content and what do they pull from? I mean, I imagine it's a bunch of logs, but where are they getting their information?
Excellent question, Larry. So the way we think about it is we integrate with your ecosystem of tools, whether it's observability tool, your incident management, your ticketing system. So we extract the right set of information from whether it's the logs, metrics, tracing, events. So we get that. Not only that, when your human SRE expert gets onto the call to investigate an incident, not only they are looking at the historical data, not only they are looking at what is fondly called as MELT signal, metrics, events, logs, and tracing, but they're also connecting to live system. So this is what we do, which is extract the right set of insights from all of those tools, work with your collaboration tools, but also connect to your live system and starts to extract the information which is live, right? So sort of putting all that information allows us with the reasoning model ability to narrow down the problem. A lot of times eliminating those domains where you potentially could have a problem, that where the problem is super critical, right? So it's not only where the problem is, but it's eliminating the domains where the problem is not. And that's how we sort of go about deploying the solution.
So I guess let's talk about the shifts facing IT teams and kind of if you're pitching Cyros to, an SRE or an enterprise, what do they gain? Is it time, or I guess what's the ROI metrics to think about here?
So I say sleep is the best measure of uptime. But to really put it into tangible benefits, right? We're really looking at to avoid that manual toil, right? The tasks which are absolutely something which we do not want our human SREs to do, right? We really are looking at that to make sure that we can help customers with that. The other one is to really help them narrow down which domain the problem could be, right? So And then if you have got onto the war room calls or incident calls, there are hundreds of Slack messages, right? So can we sort of eliminate this dashboard diving, having hundreds of experts getting on the call, endless Slack messages, long investigation windows, and cut it down to hours to minutes is where we believe that we would have top enterprises really adopt this solution to really get that benefit in terms of reducing the mean time to resolution, but really help them reduce the toil and give them a teammate which can augment and autopilot the function.
So this sort of approach that you're doing, it's kind of, has it been overlooked or it just wasn't possible in the DevOps world?
So the way our ops teams worked was there was an aspect of automation, right, where you would have heard about runbooks, right? And runbooks are sort of gets dated the moment it's put into the practice because things are constantly changing, right? So those are what I call it static runbooks. And so this approach about the reasoning models, like the way the human think about solving and eliminating the potential problems, that unlock happened because of the new capabilities which are coming in, right? And so that's basically where we feel the technology is headed. That's exactly the empowering thing which we are doing it. And we are also sort of building in such a way the capabilities where as the model continue to evolve, we continue to get benefit by those evolution of model, because as you know, in the world of AI, things are moving on a day-to-day basis, right? So we need to absolutely be ready to sort of support our customers and get the benefit of that technology as we move forward. The other part which Larry, we sort of talked about it, but I'll double click on it, is when we look at the global enterprises, right, it is all about multi-cloud and a hybrid environment, right? So they, by strategy, they want to be in a hybrid situation where they have workload in their data center or in the cloud and probably multiple cloud, right? So I think able to support those environments is super critical for Cyros, right? And this is what is included as when we talk about multi-domain, multi-agent system.
So when you think about the architecture behind Cyros and the product that's coming out at some point, how do you leave yourself that extensibility to take on new models, different environments? I mean, you got to give yourself a lot of wiggle room in there. How do you think about building that?
Yeah, so one is the aspect of leveraging as the model evolves, leveraging that capability to build the AI teammate. The second one is making ourselves extensible, right? Because in enterprise, as you know, there are lots of tools, lots of different vendors into the practice. And you would have seen it where a networking vendor would release their own agent, or a security vendor would release their own agent. Able to work with that ecosystem of agent if customer is deployed is super critical. So out of the box, we built agent to agent capability where we can hook it into agent which customer has deployed or developed on their own. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is to support MCP, which is the Model Context Protocol, which we build it inside. All our agents talk MCP internally, right? So we are sort of glued into this open and extensible ecosystems. So we can work with what the customer's environment is, right? Absolutely out of the park, we want to deliver the capabilities which we are building it across all of those domains, but able to work in the customer's ecosystem is an important aspect for enterprise customers.
What agents do you anticipate? Well, I guess what category of agents do you anticipate Cyros to interact with the most? Is it security? Is it observability? Is it cloud? I guess what do you think you'll have to tap into the most?
So it's all of the above, right? And this is the nature of microservices, very distributed architecture, right? And the point about extensibility, right? So the way customers or some of the vendors which are building the agents, we are sort of recreating the problem we had with our human SREs, right? We had SRE expert for network, we had SRE expert for Kubernetes, we had SRE expert for cloud, one for each of the cloud, right? So we sort of created that silo. the way we are sort of attacking this problem is really sort of think about holistically what components your application depends upon, right? And sort of bringing it all that together, and working it from agent to agent perspective on this one, right? The other aspect is cloud is one of those areas where we've noticed, talking to a lot of our customers, is they may have a great set of expertise in Kubernetes, but when somebody makes a change on security, they're sort of completely blindsided, right? So out of the gate, we'll of course support all the cloud, security, and the networking is something which we really are attacking this. We have the capabilities built as part of this, and this is what we are putting into the customer's environment shortly. So those are the agents which we will build, and we'll of course extend the functionality when it comes to looking at anomalies in your environment, whether it's a security anomalies or operational anomalies, right? And those are the agents which are on our roadmap.
All right, so I guess my final question would be, what's next? I guess, what can we expect from Cyros?
So we are absolutely inviting customers to join us on this exciting journey. This is the time, this is the year of agentic AI, but really building this AI which can work as a teammate to augment and help you autopilot the functions is extremely critical. The other important aspect is to continue to build this multi-domain aspect of it, because at the end of the day, your application doesn't depend on one component, but it depends on multiple different components, right? So we absolutely will continue to build the capabilities in that. And then the ultimate goal is to reduce this human toil from SREs and our ops team's perspective, so that we can give them the sleep and the time back to really build the scalable system, really focus on problems which matters to the enterprises or their employers.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Larry, for having me here.